Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Atchison 30K Media. This is gonna be a new series. It's gonna be something totally different. We're gonna call it the Atchison 32K Life Series Episode 1. So this is the first time we're gonna kick this off.
Yeah, it is.
And I got my buddy Producer
Here from Omori Yankee.
We gotta keep his identity hidden because
if you want to know more,
he's a secret Power Ranger. No, just kidding. But yeah, we both have we went to the same university together. We know we have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
And, basically, this first episode, we wanted to talk about university life, and we want to talk about like how to basically like make friends, be more social, how to adapt to the culture. A lot of international viewers out there are probably wondering, how am I gonna adapt to like studying in a different country?
Yeah.
And we'll definitely talk about that. Need this. So like you grew up. Where did you grew up in a different country? We're not gonna.
Some foreign country, but I think it's almost the same. Where like when you're a foreigner and you come to a different country, you will experience different things.
Right.
First thing is like culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, the things that I did before is different when I come to this country.
Yeah, that's true.
And you have to adapt to learn like their culture, to understand better.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the things that they talk about is related to their culture. Mm-hmm. So if you don't understand the culture, it's really hard to understand what they're talking about sometimes. Mm. Yeah.
I mean, don't you think I talk to some of my friends that are international, and like when they come here, the first thing they say is like, wow, like they went to like McDonald's and like the freaking Big Macs or the portions are like massive,
Yeah, in America, everything is huge. I mean, just go anywhere, everything is really big. The bathroom is bigger.
Right.
The portion of the meal is bigger. I mean, they even have like a bigger couch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I think compared to like other countries, especially like in Asia, they don't have that much space.
Yeah.
So they try to make everything as compact as possible.
That's true.
But in here, there is so much space. They just try to make big stuff, like even cars and all that. They go for the biggest car rather than like the tiny compact car.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that explains why like a lot of people over here, kind of a little bit
huskier.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Just an observation.
I mean, that's like the eating habit too, because in here the portion meal is big, so compared to like other countries, the portion meal is small, so the way they eat is different.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
So a lot of people are having shock, like when they come to America, they're like, "This is how you eat? Like, this is so much." Sometimes it feels like it's a meal for two.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, like, just go back to like what your time in college, like when you first started studying, like how did you feel? Like how did you transition from being like in a different place to being in the States?
It's really hard because first thing is you don't know anybody, and it's not like in high school where you will like meet up there like every single time because the schedule is the same thing.
Right.
But when you're in college, the school is so big, everybody's spread out, and the only time you can meet people and interact with them is if you go to the club.
In the club?
Yeah.
But since when did you go clubbing?
I mean, not those kind of clubs. Like the school club.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I wear this mask to the club, ooh.
Oh man, hey, would you guys dance with him if he asked you to dance in the club with this mask on? Probably not, right?
Who knows? Depends on the club.
Okay, I don't know what clubs you go to, man. Yeah, I mean, I think like, I was born and raised here, and you were like a bit different, but like we ended up like meeting each other and being friends. So I think like
I mean we met because of mutual friends. Yeah. And I think you know that person from if I'm not mistaken, a Japanese club.
Yeah.
And I know that person also from a Japanese club, and because of that Japanese club, we met.
That's right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I mean, for a lot of students that are like, I guess, international, say they're from like different countries and they're coming here, like, what would be the best way for them to kind of like be social and go out there and kind of like get rid of the bugs and break the ice? Like, what do you think?
First, be brave.
Brave?
I mean,
Agree.
if you're not brave enough to talk to strangers, that's the how you start. Because in Asia, where a lot of my friends I know that they don't approach strangers. They don't just like go. For example, they don't go to a restaurant and say hi to the waiter because both of them gonna feel like awkward. Like, I don't know that person.
Yeah, that's true.
That person doesn't know me.
Right.
Why I want to say hi to that person?
Right.
But in America, it's a normal thing.
Mm.
Where you can just go to anybody and say hi, and they will say hi
Yeah,
back.
I
And
think people here are like sometimes more friendly.
yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah,
a good thing, but I
yeah.
think sometimes that's like, I mean, it might kind of work against you, you know?
yeah,
For example, if you like go up to somebody and they're like from, I don't know, a different country,
Yeah.
where it's like rude,
yeah,
then, you know, you put yourself at a disadvantage
yeah,
at the start. But, I mean, I don't know, I think you might agree with me on this, but I think a lot of international students or a lot of people from like different countries, they come here and they hang out with like their own group, like, their own
yeah.
clique.
Because they feel comfortable
You know?
like that. Yeah.
But I think if they want to like learn more about the culture and about the society, I mean, they should go out and
They're
meet
just
different people,
scared to
Mm.
change the habit that they had before,
Yeah,
because
that's true.
they're gonna be like, oh, I know that person from the same country as me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go hang out with them because it's easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But at the same time, they want to like try approach,
Mm-hmm.
hang out with other people, but they're not brave enough. They don't have the confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. I mean, I guess college is, I think to me, it's like a time of like exploring,
Yeah.
experimenting, and like
Yeah.
up and
I mean,
downs and everything. You
col-
don't really know
college-
your identity yet.
Yeah, college
Yeah.
is so different from high school, because high school, you feel like high school is your world.
Yeah, that's true.
But college is not your world. College is just like a temporary, where it's like, okay, I want to do this college as fast as possible, and
Right.
then I can just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in high school, you're like, oh, doing the same routine over and over, meeting the same people over and over, and then you have your own clique.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you just do the same things. Like when you hear something from like your other friend, and it's like you're kind of scared. It's like, oh, why that person talk about me?
Right.
But in college, when you hear things like that, you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But I think for me, like, because I grew up in a very like Caucasian neighborhood, and I went to like a very like 90% like Caucasian school, and like you said, you know, we're in our own society.
Yeah.
We're in like kind of like a little bubble.
Yeah.
But then once I went to college, it's like so different.
Yeah.
It like opened my eyes up to like so many things. Like
Yep.
like people were like from all over the world.
Yeah.
People were like different ages. You know, in high school, everybody's like around at least a year or younger or older than you. You know,
Yeah.
college people are like you can take a class and they're like 50-year-old people. On there,
Yeah.
you know, like my
Yeah.
partner in one of my statistics class was like this 40-something-year-old lady
Yeah.
who was working and had kids, and I'm like this super young kid. And I'm like, I could be like her son. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean,
But,
there
yeah.
is like a really big age gap in college, and
That's true.
your world open up really big.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what are some of the things I think that were like you had to adapt to the most in college?
For me, what is it? I think it's like, because at that time, like, I want to finish it really quick.
Oh, so you're kind of
So-
rushing through it.
So I
Sorta?
took more classes than anybody else.
Yeah.
So I struggle more because I have less time compared to the other people. Whereas
Right.
like they just do like normal regular 4
Yeah.
classes, and I'm
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
like 6 to 8 classes.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the only like hard part. But other than that, like after a while, it just became easier because you get used to it.
Right.
And once in a while, you hear from your friends like, "Oh, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that." You're like, "Oh, I don't have time to do that."
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
Right. I mean, to me, I think when I was in college, I didn't really open up until like my second year. I was very studious, like going to teachers' office hours every morning, always in the library. It wasn't until like my second year that I started to like open up and make more friends and kind of like go out there and talk to everybody and be more social. But I think a lot of students, they don't have that luxury. Like for example, they're like low income, or they're not as fortunate where they have to actually work a lot. So they don't have time to like be social.
But I think like most of like the people that I met, usually the first year where because they have this image where if I go to college, I became free from my parents,
That's a good point.
free from like my like previous identity, so I can just do whatever I want. So during the first year, it's always like, oh, college is easy. I'm not gonna pay attention too much on studying. I'm just gonna go party, have fun.
Yeah.
Like college is still gonna be there.
Yeah, that's
So
true. That's
a
true.
lot of like students, they didn't realize that the first 2 years where that's the relaxing part, and the last 2 years it's like,
It's like the more like
yeah,
you're
it's like
more
more
serious. Right?
yeah. But sometimes they just like this is easy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I think it's like
really.
the first few years is normally like your general education. You get all that. And then the last few years is like your
More-
all your major
yeah.
stuff that counts, you know? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of people out there in college, I think they like, I think it's important to find a balance. I think a lot of you guys are like very gung-ho, you're very like enthusiastic about college and life and graduating and working, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think you kind of have to like take a step back and enjoy it, take the experience in as well, you know? Like, I know it's cliche, but it's like, you know, it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey to get there.
Yeah.
I think it's true somewhat. I mean,
you need
but,
to
yeah.
keep on balance, because college is the easy part, because people always like, oh, college is so tough. Once I graduate, so it's gonna be so easy. No.
Yeah.
The moment you have that last paper or last
The diploma.
like
degree.
exam that you did, and then you graduate, that's the hard part.
Right.
Because you're gonna be like, so what am I gonna do now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I like,
Because you have purpose, you still have purpose in college. It's like, oh, doing this routine,
right.
and then after that, it's like, I need to find an actual job. It's not a part-time job, like really actual job. Yeah.
And I think like a lot of people ask me like, Van, like, aren't you so glad you found a job after college and you've been working for many years? But I actually think that college was my most favorite time of my entire life. I mean,
Because it's much more relaxing.
it's more relaxing.
Yeah.
You make friends. Like on Fridays, Friday afternoons, you make plans, go out and eat, play basketball, whatever, go partying. But like when you work, you have like a set schedule, like Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, or like 8 to 5, whatever your schedule is. And you kind of know, it's good to know what you're doing, but it's very like repetitive. You know? It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like you can do things after work or go on weekends, but it's just that interpersonal experience, like interpersonal relationship with your friends.
Yeah.
And you know, that's, you don't get that like when you work.
I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
very different.
a lot of like people. They get distant with their friends in college after like they
that's a good
graduate.
point, too.
Yeah, because they move on. It's like, alright, I'm gonna like work in this different state, and you're working on different state.
Yeah.
It's like the only time you can meet each other or talk to each other is like maybe some social media,
That's true.
or like suddenly it's like, oh, I remember that friends like back in the high school or back in college, like, oh, I'm gonna contact them. But most of them, they're too busy to think it's like their past friend,
Right.
and it's not that they ignore it. It's just
They're just
they
busy
have
in their own life.
they have so
Yeah.
much other things to do. It's like they kind of forget because of
Right.
that.
I mean, I don't know about you, but for me,
Mhm.
most of my friends are either married now or have kids.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I mean,
That's the other thing. Yeah, once you're married and you have families, all your college friends became much more distant, and then especially like you're the ones that get married first, and then the rest still single.
right.
So they feel like that. Oh, it's hard to hang out with him now because I just want to hang out with him, but he's gonna bring his kids, he's gonna
That's
bring his
true.
wife.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, you can't.
yeah,
So for those of you out there that are like, you have like your best friend who used to hang out with you all the time in college, and now like they're just never available. Like you text them, I'm busy. You call them, oh, I can't. Like, hey, don't hold any grudges. It took me years to understand this because a lot of my friends had kids and got married and started dating, and then you know, like I was a little slower, so like I basically was like, what's going on, man? Like, what, you ignoring me now? Like, what the hell, you know? Come on. But you know, it's like it's cliche, but it doesn't matter how many times you see them. It's like when you guys see each other, everything will still click. You know, you guys still hang out, you still chat, like talk about old times. So
Yeah.
just don't hold grudges. Because you'll be miserable. It's not gonna be them that's miserable. It's gonna be you that's miserable.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
still live their normal life,
Exactly.
and you just hang on to the past.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, what do you think is the most like, what was your most embarrassing college experience?
Most embarrassing?
I talk about it a lot. Like for me, for example, like I remember literally my first week of freshman year, I was like lost. Like I did not know what anything was. And I walked into this classroom and I sat down and I was like waiting for my name to get called. And my name did not get called. So I raised my hand and I'm like, hey, professor, my name is so-and-so. I didn't get called. He's like looking through his roll count. Is this astronomy 101? I'm like, oh, shit. I'm in the wrong class. It's so embarrassing.
I don't know. I don't really remember. It's really I don't know. Most embarrassing, because most of the time, like I'm really straightforward. It's just like, okay, this is my schedule. I'm gonna go check all these classes first before I go to the classes, so I know like how much time I have to like from one class to another class. Like I need to know precisely like the distance and all that. So I check way ahead.
Yeah.
So I already know that part.
I see.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I know this is the class.
Right.
Or sometimes like I'm waiting and the professor is like a little bit late. I'm like, I'm gonna ask somebody. It's like, is this professor? It's like, oh yeah, okay. So I'm in the right place. So
right.
yeah.
Right. We have very like Asian names. I mean, you ever had this experience where you're in a class, right? And they're like, Carrie Johnson.
Oh,
Michael,
okay.
whatever.
And then they pronounce is it correct? Is it correct?
And then I'm like, oh, that's me. And I'm like looking around like, oh god, they're laughing at me.
I think maybe that's the embarrassing one, because they will like somewhat butcher your name.
Yeah.
And then they will ask you back. It's like, is it correct? And then you're like, should I correct it? Because I don't think like that person.
Like, Mom, Dad, why'd you give me such a complicated name? Come on.
It's like, you're not gonna call me anymore.
Like, why can't you just call me like Harry Johnson? Harry Johnson.
Harry Johnson.
No. I mean, no offense. I mean, it's just easier to pronounce. No pun intended. But yeah, I mean, like after a couple of years, you just get used to it. Like by the time they're like, Van, you're like, just call me Van. But college is a great time, man. Like I actually miss being in college. I mean, sometimes like when I go back to my hometown to visit friends, family, like I take strolls through my college, like my university. I go back and just walk around. I check out like the school, the campus, classrooms, auditoriums, cafes. Like everything looks so different. You get this like nostalgic feeling. When it comes back, you're like, damn, I was just like here like years ago.
For me, it's more like, oh, I pay for that one. Yep, I pay for that building.
Yeah.
Oh, that gym? Yeah, I pay for that gym.
We're going to talk about money.
Because they always like increase the tuition fee, and they will tell you like, this is for the new gym, and you're like, I'm gonna graduate next year. I'm not gonna see that gym.
Yeah.
Or this is for this new parking lot.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna see that parking lot.
Yeah.
So I'm paying for that.
Yeah, that's. But man, it's a good times. I mean, for those of you that are like freshmen coming in, I mean, it's okay to be like timid, to be scared,
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's just like pre-college jitters. You'll work them all out. You'll get everything squared away, and you'll make friends. The friends that you'll make in college, in my opinion, I think you'll like keep for life.
Yeah.
You might not make a lot of friends, but I'm telling you guys now, like you only have like a handful. Like once you start working.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally fine. Like
working friend and college friend is completely different.
Yeah.
They behave differently. So
true.
Yeah, sometimes like college friend is much more reliable compared to like your work friend, because they don't have any agenda. They
Yeah.
just want to be your friend. That's it.
Yeah, and
Like,
I think like in work, it's just like work. You know, they don't
Yeah.
see you as like they might see you as a friend, but it's very
Yeah,
rare that you have a buddy. You know?
yeah. There's like they're more thinking like, oh, that's my work friend. It's like I know that person from work.
Right.
That's the only reason I know that person.
Mm.
If I don't work there, I don't know him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, but regardless, I mean, like, you get like just to be cool with everybody. You know, like I'm not saying like work friends are not as good as college friends. I mean,
It's just different.
yeah, this is very different, and you know, embrace the differences.
I mean, it's fun being different.
Yeah, like you know,
Look at
like,
me.
yeah, I mean, look at me. I was born this way.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh.
Dude, look at terrorist, man. I just realized you look like a terrorist.
If you guys want to know why I look like this, check out the other channel, and you guys know why I look
Oh
like
yeah,
this.
I'll link his
Yeah.
channel in the description below.
There's a reason why I look like this.
Yeah, we do very different things, but you know, we're coming together to like we're collaborating. pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Oh, talking about college, you can tell the difference between you're a freshman or you're a senior just the way they dressed.
really,
Because if you see like all the freshmen, they'll like dress nice, clean,
Ah.
do their hair, and then you check out the senior, they just wear like sweatshirt.
really,
Yeah, because they're like they towards the end they're like, I just want to finish school. It's like they take all the early classes where they just woke up straight to class. You see Red Bull and coffee on the sides, like
Oh,
alright,
man.
those are the senior.
That's true.
They just want to like complete this as soon as possible. They don't care about their appearance anymore.
Right.
But the freshmen, you're like, oh, yeah, they still don't have that struggle look.
Yeah,
They're still enjoying
That's true.
it.
That's true. I mean, college is about a time of like fun and experience. I mean, I was a poor college student. Even though I worked, I didn't make that much money. And basically, I try to look nice somewhat, but sometimes I'd wear things like 2 days in a row, or I'd wear like sweatpants to class, whatever. But I mean, like, don't worry too much about like looking too good, because you'll make money later. You can buy whatever the hell you want.
And
Like,
plus, nobody care what you look like.
Nobody
over there.
cares. Like nobody cares. You know.
Yeah.
Like everybody's gonna be in the library studying or like playing video games somewhere anyway. So I mean, college is great. I'm curious to hear about what your guys' college experience is like whether you're in like different countries or different regions, cities. I mean, I was fortunate enough to make a lot of very international friends. I had friends from all over the world, and that kind of like opened my eyes up and gave me a new perspective on everything. So I embrace that. I think college shaped me and gave me like an identity. You know, if I didn't go through college, if I didn't make the friends that I met, I would have been probably very different.
Yeah. I mean, once you meet like people from, because college people come from different state, different city, and all that. Your brain starts like thinking, oh, there is more than one way to do all these things or to behave. It's like, oh, this is interesting. You're constantly learning because you get out from your comfort bubble, and then you start meeting people from all over the world. You're like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, I want to try that.
Right.
And when you try a lot of different kind of things, you're like, I want to try more.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
Try
explore
everything.
everything.
Yeah. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Because I know like a lot of people in high school, they want to try something new, and they always think at the back of their head, it's like, oh, my friend gonna say this. Oh, my friend gonna say that.
Yeah.
They worry about what their friends gonna say, but in college, nobody gonna say anything.
Yeah.
If you try something new, they're gonna be like, oh, maybe I want to try it too. Yeah. It looks interesting. I want to try it also.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I think to go back to, I mean, if I could pick between working or going to college, I think I probably want to go to college. But that's kind of impossible because you're constantly like you're not getting paid to go to college. You're doing the paying. You're paying tuition. You know.
Yeah.
So you can't go to college forever.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the only reason why I like college, I think, is because like friends and the relationships that I make.
Yeah.
You know, and the happy times, and you know.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
College is fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's never too late to go back to college. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are like, I think, 50, 40.
Oh, I just read. It's like somebody just graduated and he's 72.
Hey, more power to that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep.
He's following his dreams.
I mean, you can just go to college anytime you want. If you have problem with financial, just work for a little bit, and then you can go back to college.
Yeah. I mean, they have like financial aid for.
Yeah.
But I think what hurts the most is like people that are like international. They have to pay like double the fee.
Yeah.
That's just brutal.
But sometimes I know that they have the same thing like in here where the tuition aid and all that.
Yeah.
Financial aid.
Yeah.
And they also like they don't pay as much as you like other like private school, but it's still kind of somewhat reasonable. Yeah.
Right.
They still have that experience, so that's the fun part. Yeah.
Right. I mean, how do you think if you're a college student and you want to like, say you're like brand new to like a state or like a city, like how do you go about like I guess like making good friends, like not making like fake friends, you know, like friends that are like kind of want to take advantage of you, or friends that
Find something that you have common interests with, even like really tiny stuff, like you play tennis.
Yeah, I play tennis.
So you find somebody that into sports, or
start off like a tennis club or something.
Yeah, tennis club, something like that. So you have something in common interest, and from there you develop like your friendship. Yeah, slowly. You don't want to just jump.
Just go like, hey, want to be my friend?
Yeah, it's like that's gonna creepy a little bit.
Want to come to my house?
So it's like, hey, it's like, let's hang out together.
Yeah.
I just met you. Like I don't even know your name.
Give me your number. Give me your email.
Yeah, don't be creepy, guys. Don't be creepy. Just be natural, be friendly.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, I mean, remember back when we were in college, the first week was like a crazy week. Like they had like activities every day. Like people were recruiting people into their clubs, you know,
because they want people to like interact with each other.
Right. So I think that's like the best way, the best, you know, like chance. I mean, there's many chances, but that's the one because like you basically meet. And I think like universities host a lot of like events now, you know, like international club or like.
There's always clubs, and all those clubs you can just
night.
join. It's easy to join. They're not gonna say no. They will say yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I mean, college. I mean, we met in college too, and that was like over 10 years ago.
I think more than that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, like I didn't even know that you lived down the street from me. To be honest, like that was so weird. You know, like hey man, stuff happens, and sometimes it's just fortunate. Sometimes you're just not, but you just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that like, you know, I went to college. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are so not as fortunate, and they won't get a chance to go, and you know, they have to go to work or support their family or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're fortunate enough to go to college, I think that's a privilege. You know, you should like just make the most of it. Just go out there. You know.
I mean, some country where college is much more cheaper than America. That's the one thing. That's
sure.
one of the things where some country where you can just go to college and the government pay for it. You don't even have to pay a dime.
That's so good.
Yeah, but in America sometimes, if you're fortunate, you're really good in sports in high school, and then you can go to college for free.
Scholarship.
Yep.
Yeah. But if we give one piece of advice, I guess to students either in college right now or about to go to college. I mean, what do you think the best piece of advice would be?
Be brave.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're scared to do like whatever, you're still gonna be in the same position where like, oh, I want to do that, but I'm too scared.
That's true.
Yeah. Just be brave. Like, you want to meet people, you want to interact with people, you want to try new stuff. Just go for it. Like there's no reason why you have to be scared. Like. College is where you experience everything.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. For me, I think brave is a good one too. I think being like open-minded, you know. I think like not being afraid to try new things. Yeah. Because you'll see many things that you've never seen before. You meet people of different types, different personalities. You're from different countries. Like you're definitely gonna be culture shocked. I mean, that's for sure.
I know people from different cities itself. They already have culture shock.
Yeah. I mean, I went to school in Sacramento, California. That's like a very small town, you know. It's the capital of California, but it's still a very, for those of you that have been there, like basically, you know, it's very unique. Yeah. Nothing like Los Angeles, nothing like LA. So
it's funny where everybody knows everybody in there.
Yeah, literally, like if you like go out and
it's not like a really like a hit town where it's so small. It's a decent big city,
It's-
but
it's-
everybody know everybody.
Yeah, but so like college, I mean, yeah, this would be have fun, be open-minded,
Yep.
be outgoing, and just try new things, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you guys like have any questions or any comments that you want to ask us to talk about anything in particular, just write a comment.
Yep.
We read all the comments, you know. Subscribe to his channel right here, and yeah, I mean, just go out there and have fun, you know. Hopefully, like you guys will get a lot of like good feedback and information from.
Yeah, we want to hear from
us.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is producer. And I'm Van, and hope you guys have a good one. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Peace.